Hi, my name is Will, and welcome to the started transmission for today. When you've been interviewing... Yeah! Thank you.
Oh, dude.
Hi, my name is Will, and welcome to the started transmission for today. When you've been interviewing bands in Auckland for about 5 years, it's inevitable that eventually you're going to interview a band that you're in. And today is that day. So, welcome, Teraset.
Yeah.
Introductions, please. We're going to start off with the intros. So, let's try this lanky hairy guy over here.
Jacob, I play the guitar in the band.
I'm Ralph, I do lead vocals and bass.
I'm Lee and I play the guitar.
Cool. And I'm Will, and I play the drums. Hi.
Oh, well.
Alright, good. So I first found the Teraset demo. We had to go back 5 years, right? So I first discovered the Teraset demo that Lee, you and some of your mates did. They sort of chipped in on one of the metal forums. I think it was New Zealand Metal or something. You chucked it up there, and I was like, oh, this is interesting. You know, who are these guys? Because I quite liked sort of some of the energy and the ideas. As we discussed before, the drums weren't amazing, but the guitars and the song structures and stuff were pretty cool. So I sort of put out feelers, and I was like, who are these guys? Does anybody know who this Teraset is? And somebody said, yeah, bro, he's a mate of mine. Lives down Te Awamutu. His name's Lee, and he'd be keen for an interview, I'm sure. So I was like, okay, sweet. And I think he got in touch with you and or gave me your contact details or something. We managed to get in touch with each other and came up for an interview with Mark, who was the original vocalist.
Indeed.
Yep. And that was about 5 years ago, apparently. That was
2018, I think it was.
Yeah. And so after the why don't you fill us in on what happened rather than
the other
it
side
being a
of that.
monologue? Yep.
I decided to get back into music, basically. But most of my friends were sort of over it. We'd all been in bands and what have you over the years, but I wasn't finished. So I decided to record this demo CD with not knowing where it would go, but just, hoping that something would come together again in a positive mind. And I did it, and you found us somehow and pointed out that the drums were crap and offered to help with that situation, and that was basically the beginning of the real Teraset that it's become now.
It was interesting how quickly you agreed with me too. You're like, well, yeah.
Well, I'm not a drummer of that caliber, so I just made the most of what I could. But I did the guitars with confidence. So.
I think it was about a 10-track as far as I recall.
Yeah.
After our little discussion, after the interview, I said, if you're keen, I'd be happy to do some drums for it, because I've got a superior drummer. I can crank out some MIDI drums for you if you're keen. And you were like, nah, it's cool.
At that point, I didn't know where I was going, and I didn't know where it was going. I just wanted to kick something off, and I didn't expect the opportunity to go back on anything. I thought I'd just have to keep moving, keep pumping stuff out, as it were, because it's all about volume these days. But we got that opportunity. We tidied it up a little bit. We dropped some of a weaker tune off it, and we wrote a couple of new ones, that was probably the catalyst to going forward. The fact that you and I wrote some new stuff.
You did more than tidy it up. Like you retracked the guitars. I think you retracked the bass. You had to use some of the original vocals and stuff.
Well, yeah. So that was another part of it. As you said earlier on, a couple of my friends helped me with it. Notably, Vince, who's passed away now, sadly, who was in a former band with me, Terra Firma. He just helped out with a few bass lines and some lyrics and stuff here and there, and more substantially would be Madman, who did the vocals for that first demo, which I reused for the the actual one that we redid, but he did some touch-ups for us, and he did that as a kind of a favour because Mark was over it at that point. He'd had enough really, and it was cool that he did that. Thanks, Mark. Yeah.
What was the next album we did? I can't even remember now.
Shadow of the Vultures. Yeah.
And that was when Ralph sort of appeared. That was before that, eh? So
Yeah.
can you tell us your story, Ralph?
I was in another band at the time. It was our drummer's 50th birthday, and he had hired a trailer to play out in his farm, and we asked Will to come and record us. Of course, being a birthday party, everyone was pretty inebriated, we were pretty messed up, and managed to hold it all together, which was good. And then after the gig, Will was like, "Oh, whereabouts you stay?" I'm like, "Oh, out west, "Oh, yeah, sweet as." Next day I get a message, "Oh, my mate's got this little project thing going on." I'm like, "Oh yeah, have a listen." And had a listen, like, "Oh, that'll be pretty cool." I hadn't been in a band just as a bass player before either. I'd always either been like a writer or a main part of the band, so it was kind of refreshing just to come in and just play bass. And then then it just kind of went from there.
Yeah, and then Waylon sort of jumped in and he became the vocalist for a time. It didn't quite work out, like he was living quite far away, and when he wasn't coming to band practice from time to time, you sort of fill in.
Yeah.
Just so we all knew where we were in the songs, basically.
Pretty much.
Because you used to do backing vocals in your old band Inhuman.
Yeah.
And then sort of as it progressed, you just ended up developing your voice to the point where you just became the vocalist. And Waylon decided that he wanted to sort of step out of it. It wasn't really his thing either, so you ended up taking over from that. So
yeah.
What was it like becoming a front man for once?
It was weird. Like, I'm a bass player, bro. I just want to hang out in the corner. So it's kind of strange all of a sudden being in the front, but it was also weird only doing backing vocals, and then all of a sudden it's like, now you got to do the whole lot. And like, yeah, part of me was kind of, on the fence, like, far out, can I actually do it? Or, and then I still remember that first practice I tried, and man, you guys are laughing at me because I was failing everywhere, and I said to you guys, nah, this ain't going to happen next time, and sure enough, it didn't happen as much next time. As I gained confidence, you guys kind of gained confidence in me, and then we kind of came together with the writing. Well, you guys came together with the writing for Bones, the latest one.
One good thing about this band is everyone tries to up their game a little bit as we go ahead. Like, for example, I was just sort of doing the drumming at first, and then recently I've gotten into writing lyrics and things like that, like things that I'd never ever imagined that I'd be able to do. And like you, Ralph, you sort of stepped up, and now you're the vocalist as well. Jake, you were the rhythm guitarist, and now you've stepped up, and now you're trying out backing vocals as well. So everyone's kind of developing their sort of responsibilities or their additions to the band, and I find that quite refreshing, and it's quite a positive thing. All right, cool. So just recently we've done the Bones of Contention album, which I guess we should probably talk a little bit about. Jakey joined the band just after we'd done the tracking, so even though he's sort of featured on the album itself and the artwork and stuff, he's not actually recorded on the album. But he'd done so well, he sort of appeared out of left field, and just one day, right? You just texted me and said, "Oh, you're still looking for a guitarist, bro?"
Yeah, it was the Facebook advert that you guys had posted up from 2018, I think, when Waylon was actually still in the band, looking for a rhythm guitarist. So yeah,
it's from ages ago, and then it was just like, bing, this
yeah.
fella
I
appears.
just thought, hey, why not give it a go?
A wild Jakey appears.
Super effective.
Yeah, at that point I knew, I've been practicing for years and just wanting to do something with what I had, and wanted to put it to use, and figured that, I'd look around, and then I saw the ad. And
was it very hard to sort of come up to speed, because by the time you joined we had 3 albums we've done to date? Yeah, so there were 3 albums worth of material. Not that we play every song.
Yeah.
Was that a relatively easy transition?
I wouldn't say it was easy. It required a lot of, for me, hone in on the songs themselves, and Lee would send me the music itself. So it required me to sit down and go through it and listen to the album over and over again, the albums over and over again. And
you've been trying backing vocals just recently, which is something that you've never attempted before.
No.
How's that going?
Yeah, I'm getting more comfortable as the time goes on. And
so we did it at Ding Dong. That was the first time that we ever played the stuff off the new album, and you were doing backing vocals at that time, and that was the first time.
It seems like there's a first involved with everything we do, because we don't really stay in one place. We keep moving, pushing forward. It's a very cool thing.
Yep, we're always popping cherries over here, mate.
Yeah.
Sorry, I had to do a dodgy joke. You can edit that out later.
But I've been quite nervous about interviewing the band because it's just filthy talk all the time, and I thought this is just not going to go over well with the public.
I'm being pretty well behaved.
Yeah, extremely well behaved, coherent even.
Yeah,
alcohol.
for a change.
Check out the B-reel.
I've actually written something now I can't even read. It looks like, what Nebelfruit the band? So I think...
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. That's the answer.
I think it's what do we like about the band. I thought we might go around and mention something that we like about the band. It could be anything. I quite like how we develop and try to push ourselves. That'd be mine. Does anyone have anything to add to that?
I've been playing since I was 14.
Back in 1875.
That's it. Yep. And I know I've had like good times over the years, but I've never had an opportunity like we have in this band to put music forward. And it is a real reason why I play. I love writing songs and playing for people and all that. So, and I've never had a vehicle quite like this one before. It's a really good balance, a good mix of skills, even behind the scenes. With stuff like my engineering and your video stuff, you know, the makeup, the balance of skills in this band's really cool to actually... Artwork's another one. And there's more, which, you know, there's more. But that's really cool to actually be part of something like that. It feels like that doesn't happen all the time, even when you're successful, you know. To have such a makeup that we have it's quite rare.
Alright, Ralph?
Everyone's able to take like constructive criticism and not get butthurt about it, because there's so many times, like with any kind of art that's, you know, whether it's lyrics, which is essentially poetry, or art, or the actual artwork, or, you know, the music itself, artists have an ego. They will get butthurt over certain things, but it's also being able to recognise the constructiveness behind some of the criticisms, and that's what we can all do. You know, we can all put our ego aside, and if you've got a suggestion about a guitar part or bass part or whatever, we can all take it on board and go, oh yeah, it's sweet as, and actually work on it constructively, instead of being like nah, don't tell me I'm playing that wrong, or nah, don't tell me I need to change that. You know, it's all about the song and the band, and yeah.
We try to choose our words carefully as well. We don't just throw out like that was shit, you know, so okay. So we try to like constructive in our criticisms, and I think that goes over a lot better. Yeah, but that could just be because we're a bit older.
I think a big part of it is experience, and I think it's helped you come into the band as well, Jake.
Yeah,
that's part of why it's been an easier transition than it might have been.
South Auckland guy mentoring program. What about you, Jackie?
What was the question again?
What a thing that we like about the band?
The dedication sort of factor, that we're all into it, and we like we're into jamming twice a week, and
sometimes weekends
as well.
I think we all make time for the band. We all chip in and make sure that happens. Rather than going, oh, I'm fucking busy, man.
Making time. And the music itself it's really it's quite good. Cathartic.
Oh, it's a fancy word, bro.
Yeah. Cathartic.
Ooh.
We played Scrabble last night.
Okay.
So I think maybe that was sorry everybody.
Learn some new words.
Cathartic. What were some of the words you had down? Ape and gape.
Nice.
Please edit that out.
All right. Well, that's about all the questions I have, and I think we covered most things. Let's talk a little bit about the record, because we still have some for sale. The vinyl. Oh,
this thing over here.
Here's one we prepared earlier.
Yeah. Right. So tell us all about it, Lee.
Okay, so this one's cool because, in my mind, I enjoy this one because it's the first one where we really wrote it as a band. Because it had come from me as a solo project, then on the second album to us putting an album together, and this third one we had, well, it was the three of us, Jakey just about to join at that point, and we wrote it as a band really, and that was the first time we'd been able to play to strengths and do what we really wanted to do as a group. so it feels closer to what we are. And we also got the opportunity to think them out together a little more on this one, so playing them live is also more enjoyable, and I think they come across better, and that's the big things about this third album for us.
Cool. So if anybody wants an album on vinyl, we've got some CDs as well. Get in touch with us, or just go to Bandcamp, type in Teraset, and you'll find us pretty quick. Yeah. Well, that wasn't too bad, eh?
Yeah, mate.
That's pretty much it for this interview. Very well done, lads. Is there anything else you want to add to the end, Lee? Ralph?
I mean, nothing that you won't edit out, because I'll be extremely offensive and I'll offend a massive number of humans. So I'll just say thank you.
Cool.
Yeah, I'd like to say thank you for the support to the people out there, because it's been actually quite exceptional. I don't think we'd have carried it on if we weren't enjoying it, and it's been enjoyable most of the way, and a big part of that is the support we've had. So cheers, absolutely awesome.
Jake, you got anything to say?
Maybe thanks to some of the bands that we've played with and helped us out and whatnot.
Yeah. By all means.
Blindfolded and It's the Woods and Parasitic Infestation and
Shepherd's Rain. We just played Shepherd's Rain recently.
Shepherd's Rain.
Teeth and Nails.
Teeth-
Played with
Yep.
them down in Wellington. They're good guys.
Just near and
Yeah.
Hello to the Abysm boys.
Abysm, yeah.
Old Claude and Roger from the Napier
Yeah.
Death Fest. You know, like
Yeah.
I've always
Feast.
like that. But back when I was in other bands, I heard about that festival. I always wanted to play it. And as soon as we joined this band, all of a sudden we're playing it. So it's, you know, shout out Claude and Roger.
I think we
Choice
played
dudes.
twice in 1 year.
Yeah.
I think it's a hard one to do that, because we've already played with so many bands, and it's not like you really
Yeah.
want to miss anyone out.
My favourite experience from the Napier Death Fest was when we had to like go straight on after organectomy. There was no pressure there at all.
Oh, not ulcerate, you know.
And Ulcerate as well. It's like, okay, you guys are the last band, so you'll be on after the headliner.
Is
So, whew.
you stand there watching like a horde of people in front is watching the show, and all of a sudden they all turn around and look at you. It's like, all right.
The best thing about the Napier Death Fest is of course there's no time delay between bands. Like one band finishes, next band bam starts immediately. So the crowd was facing the big main headline band, and then the second they stopped,
Yeah.
we sort of counted and then we started, and the whole crowd just turned around.
Yeah.
180 degrees. It's like, oh. And that was my chair.
There you go.
I
Nah,
promise that
don't
was
lie.
the
You
chair.
just let one rip, bro.
Listen. Oh, it's not doing it.
Alright, I'll let them out.
Cool. All right, guys. Well, thanks very much for behaving yourselves, and I was going to say all the best for everything going ahead in the future, but
Well, you better wish that. If you don't wish that upon us, there's something wrong with the band, bro.
I guess together we'll make it happen.
Thank you for letting us, for having us on your channel. Well,
That's right.
This is not Teraset's
My
this is
channel,
Will's.
my damn channel.
Will's
All your other bands out there.
Your big daddy will.
Cool. All right, boys. Catch you later. Well, actually, I won't catch you later because we're going to just sit here and do some more music. But yeah, catch you later. Thanks for watching. See ya.
Cheers.